Good afternoon and welcome to On the Go with Amy Jo. I want to welcome not only our local people, but I also want to welcome our global audience that's tuning in. This show that you're listening to today is a digital extension of a mission that I've been on for 20 plus years. And that includes a mission to help people to affect their lives and help them to learn a learning curve and shorten that learning curve so you don't have to learn everything step by step, one by one. So the mission of this show is to also help people to learn from what has happened to other people. And I have a most fabulous guest with me today. That her name is Angelique Daniels. She is an artist. She's a community advocate. She's the founder of Paint for Kidneys. She's the owner of Paint with Angelique LLC. And she's the owner of Angelique's Community Art Center. And there is truly so much more I could say about her, but I'm not going to do all the talking. I'm going to let her share her story herself. So, Angelique, it is a thrill to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here and so very excited to be your first guest.
Well, thank you. And when I started thinking about who I was going to interview for my first show, I had several people in mind. And I really wanted to be specific because I wanted somebody that reflected the heart of what this show is about. And this show really is about real life. It's about resilience, service, and creativity and purpose. And you fit into every category, young lady. And I truly admire you for the deep personal journey that you have taken yourself. And not only been through it, but you have encouraged other people in the process. You've educated them. You've connected people. And so now I'm going to shut up and we're going to talk about your story. So let's start with kidney failure. And I want you to share with our listening and viewing audience the story. When did you first realize that your husband's health situation was really serious?
So I'm going to kind of back up just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's where the Paint for Kidneys came birthed out of my experience as a living donor. My husband was sick and it was a progressive thing. Stage 3, stage 4, and then total renal failure.
Okay, so let me stop you. You say stage 3, stage 4. So what happened about 1 and 2?
Wasn't detected soon enough. Yes.
Okay.
So if you have inflammation and you have foamy urine, or it can be misdiagnosed. You know, one doctor said, you know what, we're going to take a look at your kidneys, and that's how the whole thing came about. So. The question was, when did you first realize that the health issue was a real problem, very serious? Yeah, so it was progressive where, you know, you try to change your diet and do different things. And finally, the nephrologist said you have to go on dialysis. And that was probably the most difficult moment in the whole journey. That was the most difficult moment where you're just wondering how your life is going to change. You're wondering if what does dialysis look like? He's the man of the household, the provider. Yeah. Am I going to be able to work? Am I going to live?
Now that is key right there. Am I going to live? Because we're talking about end of life if you don't handle it. If you don't take care of it, your life could be over.
It's a big deal, yes. Dialysis is a big deal.
And did he do dialysis?
He did dialysis for 2 years, and that's a plot twist in the story because I wasn't healthy enough. So
wait a minute, you weren't healthy enough for what?
To give him my kidney.
Okay, we got a hero story coming on right now, and I'm telling you, this really blows me away because when people say, "Oh, you're a candidate," or "You can become a donor," you're not related to him by blood. So how can people be a donor to somebody that is not related?
Primarily, it's blood type. So I knew what my blood type was. So I knew I was going to be able to help. I mean, like right away, I knew my blood type because I donated blood through college. And I told you before, I didn't know why I was doing that because I didn't get any money for it. But
whoops. Okay.
But the first, Red Cross would show up on campus, and I don't know, I just felt pulled to do it one time, and they said, you're O negative, and that's very rare. So they would call me from time to time. So that's the majority. That's the biggest part of it. And so people that are maybe a little apprehensive about being a living donor, you go through so many tests. They want to make sure you're healthy enough. They don't want to have two individuals needing major medical attention, right?
Right, because if you're not healthy enough and you give one of yours, now you're in crisis.
Right. They don't want to compromise a life to save a life.
Yeah.
So
wow, that's
all the
scary.
people that may be thinking about being a living donor and thinking, I don't know if I can, I don't know, they'll let you know. And for me, my iron was too low. I had fibroid tumors for the second time.
Okay.
And they said, your iron, it was a lot of testing at Mayo Clinic. They do your blood type, and then there's lots of medical things they have to check.
Right.
And they want to make sure you're healthy enough. So when that came up, I had to get healthy before I was able to. So I had to have a hysterectomy, and then I had to recover from that. And so we agreed that he would go on the national list. So there's a list that you can go on nationally. The average wait time in Nevada is like 3 to 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
And then I said, okay, I'm going to try to get healthy. So I convinced my husband, because remember, my husband's he a real man, like Air Force,
macho,
breadwinner. I don't want you to do it. You're my wife.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do it. So we, through lots of discussing, he finally said, okay, I agreed. So we're gonna put you on the list, and then I'm gonna try to get healthy.
Okay.
And whichever one comes up first. So I was able to get healthy. So he still was on dialysis for 2.5 years, and that's hooked up to a machine for about 3 hours, depending on your weight. He's kind of a big guy, so 3 hours, 3 days a week. So if you know anybody that's on dialysis, or go visit them and support them. It's tough.
And so let me ask you this: when you're having the dialysis done at the clinic, or some people do it at home, if you're at the center, can a person go with you just to sit with you and talk?
Yes.
And I think that's valuable to know, because some people feel like, I don't want to be intrusive and I don't want to invade their privacy. But you're telling everyone out there it's a good idea to participate.
Yes, and ask them.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask them.
Yeah.
Can I come sit? Because some days they might not want to be bothered, and some days they do.
Okay.
When you're sick, you go through a broad range of emotions, right? So my husband is a people person, so he wanted people to come sit with him. He enjoyed that, and and for those of you who don't know what dialysis is, it's a machine that filters your blood. I had no idea. I didn't even know what your kidneys did. Like, I didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
They filter your blood, and the byproduct of filtering your blood is your urine. So the machine filters your blood, and it's a complicated process. It's based on your weight and fluid, and they have to get that recipe right for you.
Wow.
So you're feeling drained some days. Some days he would come home totally drained, but through the course, we're very fortunate. He was able to work. Some people don't want to work. Some people get so depressed.
I thought you were like kind of homebound and you couldn't do anything.
No, some people, can handle. He would sleep on the machine. Some people couldn't sleep on the machine.
Okay.
He would go after work. We didn't want to do it at home because it's a lot to do it at home.
I would think so, with sanitation and health.
But some people like that. I advise, and my husband advised, that you should go to a clinic, because when you have it at home, it's around you all the time. It's a constant reminder all the time, and you have to do it every day.
At home. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we're just going to progress a little bit more with this. When you found out that his health was in crisis and you really needed to act, what came first? Faith? Was it, fear? Or did it all hit you at once and you think, oh my goodness, what are we going to do?
My heart was heavy for him, because he's such a kind man, and his thoughts.
And how many years have you been married? I'm not being personal, but I have a reason for asking this.
Okay, we've been together since 93.
Okay, so do the math. But for her to say that he's a kind man, that is the ultimate compliment from a married couple, that you would still see your husband as a kind man, because a lot of people after 5-10 years of marriage, they're kind of like, yeah, he's getting on my nerves,
Well, he does get on my nerves, but he is a kind man.
No, but I did. I love that.
Like,
Hubby, I hope you're listening.
Really, he is an extraordinary man, beyond being kind. Like, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. I've never heard him say a swear word since we've been together. Okay, Bible frontwards and backwards. He's the guy that you call to speak at a funeral, or you call to uplift people, or you call when you need some wisdom. Mm-hmm. So, yes, he's an extraordinary man. So my heart was heavy for him. He actually walked around the parking lot, and I sat in the car because I had no words.
Yeah. And is it best sometimes in that kind of a situation, don't console, just be quiet.
Yeah, ladies, just be quiet.
Ladies, that's hard for us, but yeah.
Just be quiet.
Because we're going to fix it up. You're going to be okay. Don't worry. Yeah.
We're going to fix it up.
We're going to fix it.
Yes.
Well, at what point did you really realize that you could become a living donor?
Well, I believe it was within a moment of him, coming back to the car and thinking about, actually saying, why me? And then I said, I think I can be a donor. I'm O negative. I think that's a universal donor. And then it was too soon, really, to go into what that looked like. It was, how am I going to work? That's what he was saying. How is this going to work out? Like, how, in the midst of that happened in 2019. And that we had the transplant. So 2017 when he was on dialysis. So I'm still working at a full-time job, not doing my art thing. I was a restaurant manager for Olive Garden for 27 years, a very demanding job.
Whoop, whoop. Good food.
And then 2 children that were both in high school at the time.
Yes.
And so that's a lot.
So how do you wrap your mind around all of that? Because it's a lot in a nutshell. I mean, your husband's ill, you're working, you've got kids in the kind of prime of their life in high school where there are a lot of demands.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Because I know people out here listening are wondering like, oh my goodness, how'd she do that?
You lean on your tribe. At first, my husband, very private man. He didn't want me to tell anybody.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I said, you need to let me have a few people. Yeah. Because how can people support us? How can people pray for us?
Right.
If they don't know. I said, I don't know if this is the proper word, but that's a little selfish and it's a little hard on me. And it's not really all about you. Right. I would say for those people out there that are sick, no matter what it is you're going through, you need to lean on someone. You need someone to talk to. And I had about 5 people that I could talk to. And then eventually he let me put it on Facebook. Okay. And that was a really big deal. And that was a lot of love and support from the community. Awesome. And a lot of other people reaching out. I mean, I did a painting called We Are All Connected. And the painting represents all the people, black, white, young, old, people that wanted to help. Yes. We did the transplant at Mayo Clinic in Arizona. So we went up and down the freeway a bazillion times. Wow. People sent us Uber cards, Uber Eats cards. Someone wanted to watch our dogs. Okay. It was just really great.
The value of that, and I'm so glad you brought that out, because a lot of times when people have an illness or some kind of crisis in their life, they have a humiliation, a shame, a fear, and they don't want anyone to know. And so you have to open up, because then you can receive the love.
Yes. Oh, you have to open up, and you have to, and like you, to receive the love. You really do. Yeah. Because how can people pray for you? How can you receive the energy? And I did, from the first time in my life, I did get counseling. Okay. Because I didn't feel crazy, but I thought maybe I am crazy because I don't feel crazy. I should probably go talk to someone. So I did.
Excellent. Because also, especially in the African American community, we seem to feel like that's the plague if you go to counseling or you go to a mental health resource. But it is there for a reason, and they have a purpose. Please, please, when you need help, get the help. There is no shame in it. If you get your arm cut off, are you going to say, I'm not going to go to a surgeon because people are going to talk about me? No. Whatever is wrong with you, you need to go get it taken care of, whether it's mental, emotional, physical,
absolutely,
any of those things.
Absolutely. And when I looked at everything I was juggling on paper, I was like, I should really be crazy. Especially the part of supporting my husband spiritually through emotionally through being on dialysis, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to cook dinner, explain to my kids what's going on. I had to call the ambulance a couple times to the house. And then, you know, my son was didn't really understand, wasn't really, you know, loving enough. So I had to let him sit with him on this is what your dad is doing before he goes to your basketball game, because he was still making it to basketball games.
Wow.
My husband was. This is what's really going on.
Yeah.
And include your kids. They need to know if they're old enough. I don't even know if age is a factor. They should know. Don't hide things from your children. They should know what's going on.
I agree with you on that part, because it is a family thing and everybody is affected. One person may be receiving treatment, but everyone is impacted. And I remember when my husband was very ill with his cancer, it impacted all of us. So everybody has to understand, pitch in, know what to do, what not to do, how to support.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, so what is the one takeaway from that experience?
Oh, there's lots of takeaways. I mean,
we only have one show. We have one show.
There's lots of
But
takeaways.
I will invite you back.
The biggest one for me is that God had us the whole time. You know, it really elevated my faith. And it also made me more courageous as I walk through life. If he could cover me on that, what else could he cover me on? Right?
Everything, right?
Like leveraging that now, because I'm like, wow, two total strangers and we're a match. And all the crying and worrying through that entire journey. And there was a lot of crying.
I'm sure.
There was a lot of crying, a lot of worrying, a lot of phone calls to my tribe.
Yes.
And in the end, he had us covered the whole time.
Yeah.
So what if
sometimes we worry for nothing, don't we? And
what if we approach every situation knowing that he's got us the whole time? And so that's what it's done for me. It's made me more courageous throughout my life. I don't want to say totally fearless, but it's definitely made me more courageous as I walk through life and as different situations come towards me. You know, it totally changed my perception on how I handle things.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And your story is a powerful reminder that one person's willingness to step forward can change the direction of another person's life. You took a step forward for your husband, and that changed his life and eventually your children and everyone that you met.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what, you know, in anyone's life, it's, you know, mine was a kidney transplant, but when someone looks back over the things that the obstacles, the challenges that they've had throughout their life and how you got through it or you wouldn't be here, why not take that into other areas of your life and live a little bit more courageously or differently, you know?
Absolutely. Courage. And speaking of people who step forward, I've had people step forward in my life, and especially since I decided to come back to broadcasting and to lend my voice to helping impact the lives of other people. I want to just take a brief moment to thank several of our founding supporters. Kim G. in Phoenix, Arizona, thank you. Angela V. in Las Vegas, Anita L. in Las Vegas, Rhoda T. Las Vegas, Rosalind B. in San Francisco, Valerie V. in Las Vegas, and those are only a few of the names. You can find them on our website, cornerforsuccess.com. You can see the full list of people who are investing in helping others and making a difference in people's lives. So I'm going to skip the rope a little bit, but it's still connected because you did something phenomenal. After all of this experience you had with your husband, you decided to create a nonprofit called Paint for Kidneys.
Right.
I mean, advocacy work that you're doing right now. So tell us a little bit about that. What is Paint for Kidneys?
Well, kidney is the number one organ that's in need. Okay. Now, over 90% of the transplants are kidneys. And a big part of that is because of, in the African American community, is untreated high blood pressure and hypertension. So that's the audience that I'm mostly in front of all the time, is Black folk.
Okay. But you know, that means you're with the right people because they need what you have. Right? And that's important.
And so I'm using my platform to share that message about organ donations and transplants because there's so many like conspiracies behind it, and a lot of people don't want to do it in our community, and they're scared, and they have all these different ideas about what that looks like.
Not based on fact.
Not based on facts, not based on science. And I get it. My mom loves my husband to death, but she did not want me to give him my kidneys because she didn't understand.
Right.
And she tried to commiserate with her doctor about it, her primary doctor, and her primary doctor said, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
They do transplants all the time.
For sure.
She's saving your husband's life. And my mom got on board, after that.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Paint for Kidneys was birthed out of I'm a huge personal development, and I'm a Christian, and I know that our big purpose here on life is to discover our gift, right? Get really, really good at our gift and find a way to serve. And I thought, how could I serve with this in my gift? Well, I painted through that whole journey. That helped me keep my sanity because art is very therapeutic. I did a whole series throughout the journey. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to use my platform as I do, because I mostly do paint and sip parties. I call them paint parties, but they're more commonly known as paint and sip parties.
And it doesn't have to be alcohol. She has a great little bar in her center.
A mocktail bar.
That is a mocktail bar that's delicious, I hear. And my next trip over, I'm going to try that. We're going to talk about my art in a minute with her too, but...
So I say paint and sip because it's more commonly known as that. So I'm in front of groups all the time, corporate groups, girls' night out. I'm working with behavioral health companies. So I have a platform to share my message. So it just made sense to create something as my way of giving back, right?
Right.
So find something that you're good at, discover your gift. Get really, really good at it. I think I'm pretty good at it. I've been doing it for quite a while now.
She's really good at it. Do you want me to show you?
And find a way to serve, and your life will be blessed.
Yeah. There's nothing more fulfilling than service to others. And especially at a time when you're feeling low, that's the time when you feel physically weak sometimes and mentally exhausted. But that's the time to go help somebody.
Amen. Get your mind off yourself.
There you go.
No matter, and I know, it's hard when you're sick, when you don't feel good, but that is the time I think that you get the most reward.
I do believe.
Is when, you do something for someone else, when you're not feeling good, when you don't feel like it, get your mind off yourself. And it's easier said than done.
Right. It just takes a lot of push and endurance and being patient with yourself. We are very impatient, sometimes with others, but mostly with ourselves because we want it done yesterday, and I should have done that, and I should have done this, but slow it down a little bit. But what is something that you really wish more people understood about kidney disease and organ donation or transplant awareness?
The biggest for me is the people that are on dialysis that don't want to have a transplant. And I've met people who have lost their mom or their dad because they refused to have a transplant because they were scared. And that's the biggest piece for me beyond the conspiracies that people have, because you really can have your life back. I saw my husband get his life back up close in real time, up close and personal. We never forget about it because I always wear my Donate Life bracelet.
Okay, hold that up so they can see that.
This is with Nevada Donor Network.
And you have a website?
State organization, yeah.
Okay, please give your website.
It's paintwithangeliquelv.com. So you'll find...
paintwithangeliquelv.com.
Yes.
We have to say things slower in case they're driving or pulling over.
No.
So you wear that to remind yourself that
I do.
I was on this journey. I had a good end, but I was on that journey.
Yes, and I can smile about it. I mean, it was such a crazy ride. And he got COVID after the transplant. He got COVID twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Strong
it was
man.
a lot. It was a lot. But we don't look like what we've been through.
No. We put that smile on and we put our best foot forward because we do want to affect the lives of other people. And if I'm down in the mouth and sad and depressed, how can I help you to be uplifted?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to come out of that. It's not like it's fake, but you have to take that extra oomph to be that service or resource to other people.
Amen. And if you truly believe that, life is happening for you, not
to you. Yeah.
There's a lesson in that, we understand life backwards, and we live it forward.
Yeah.
So why did that happen? What am I supposed to do with that?
What am I supposed to learn?
Yes.
There's a lesson to learn in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So Angelique, what has this journey taught you about love, sacrifice, resilience, and purpose in general?
It taught me a lot about myself.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's a big deal. I just thought it was a no-brainer. Like, this
is a big deal. God gave you 2 kidneys. You volunteered to give up 1. Girl, that is a big deal. Not everybody would do that.
It's so funny because, like, one time I asked my husband, I said, what? I don't know, it was a question that was circulating online or something. I said, what's the nicest thing that someone's ever done for you? And he was like, really? Really? Really?
Uh-huh.
Really? And I'm like, yeah, what's the nicest thing? It's like, somebody gave me a kidney. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Bruce. Okay.
I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. But yeah, it taught me a lot about myself. I didn't know that other people wouldn't do it.
Ah.
And when I came across people that said, I would never do that.
Oh my.
And I was just like, no judgment. And it taught me a little bit about myself. I mean, you can save 8 lives if you check that box as an afterlife donor. 8 lives.
Now, how do you save 8 lives? And then we're going to roll into something else real quick.
You can save. You have 2 kidneys, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 lungs. You have a liver, pancreas, intestines. That's 7. I'm missing 1. Heart.
Oh.
8 organs. Right away, you can impact 8 lives. Afterlife, I'm talking afterlife. Living is you can help someone with your kidney and part of your liver because your liver regenerates.
Exactly.
So you can help in those kind of ways as a living donor. But you can impact 8 lives, save 8 lives, and impact over 70. I think it's like 75 through your eyes and skin and bone marrow. Just so many different ways. I didn't even think of
that because there's grafting for the skin, and skin is huge.
Burn victims.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, children, just so many ways. But yes, I just learned a lot about myself. And once it's a gift, people would ask me this when I say I learned a lot about myself, because people would say, "What if you get divorced?" I guess George Lopez did that to his wife. He got her kidney and then he divorced her. And I said immediately when I was first asked about that, I said, it's a gift. If we get divorced, we get divorced.
There you go. You're not
it's a gift
owing to me just because I get what if they gave you a car or a diamond ring?
It's a gift.
But I'm going to think on that one.
But like I said, I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's a gift. If we get divorced, we get divorced.
Yeah. That is such a good heart.
And from my restaurant management days, I didn't think I was like that. Like,
Why?
Because in restaurant management, you're kind of gruff and tough. And
because you got to get the job done. Get that table. Did you get those dishes? Where's the food?
And I won't just blame that on my restaurant business, even though that's 27 years of my life.
Wow.
That I led like that until like the last 5 or so when I got a little softer.
Okay.
But yes.
I met her at the soft time. No, you were always wonderful, and you were always giving.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really and truly. You and I have done a lot over the years outside of the art, outside of the kidney situation. And I can really attest to the fact that you're a very fine person to know. And it is my privilege really to know you. Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, I learned a lot about myself. That was the lesson. I mean, so much about myself through that journey.
Okay. Well, I just need to, we're talking about so much love and all of this. I just have to give a little bit more love to some of our other founding supporters. So I want to take a brief moment to thank several other people. Roxanne B. in Las Vegas, Deborah D. in Chandler, Arizona, Vivian H. in Las Vegas, Megan M. in Cleveland, Hannah B. in Las Vegas, Crown Caregivers Inc. right here in Las Vegas, and Paula J. in Las Vegas, Danette B. in Las Vegas, and China F. in Las Vegas. I give a special thanks to them and also to our brand supporter, Cassandra Janelle at the Glamour Lounge right here in beautiful Las Vegas. And if you wonder why I'm so glamorous, the girl has the most wonderful fingers in the world. So I'm grateful for those people and businesses who've helped lay the foundation, because it does take a team to get things done. If you guys want to see a full list of our founding supporters, you can go to cornerforsuccess.com, and the list is growing. You can join it as well if you like what we're doing here. So now we're going straight art.
Okay.
We're going straight art. And we understand why your mission really means so much. But I want to talk about how you carry that message through the art. So what made art important to you in the first place? Because you weren't always an artist.
No, not always an artist, but always loved art. As a little girl, I would draw the pictures out of the coloring books instead of coloring the book. So I was able to draw all the cartoons by just looking at them.
I mean, like freehand?
Yeah, freehand.
Oh,
and
wow.
my parents didn't really know what to do with that. They thought it was cool, but they didn't really know what to do with that. They were like, "You should be an architect." I'm like, "What?" And then I was trying to make sure I made some good money.
Exactly.
And I'm looking into that, and I'm like,
they don't want you to be a starving artist, right?
I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I ended up going to school, went to Eastern Michigan, and got a degree in business.
Okay.
And then I met Miss Annie Lee.
Oh, yes.
And I saw her artwork in Atlanta, and I fell in love with her artwork. And very long story short, I got to work with her and travel with her here in Las Vegas when we met.
I remember her well.
And she didn't teach me how to paint, but she just really encouraged me. I never saw anyone up close and personal use their gifts and talents like that and make a big list. She was my first millionaire friend.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell people all the time when they come in the art center, I want to be your first millionaire if you don't already have one. But beyond art, like just inspiring people to do what they love to do and live out their dream. Like what I'm doing right now at Angelique's Community Art Center, I'm actually living out my dream.
So describe that work that you do there. I mean, you've got Paint with Angelique and you've got Angelique's Community Art Center. So describe that.
So Paint with Angelique is like the big blanket, you know, the umbrella which everything falls underneath. That's the LLC. Angelique's Community Art Center is the building. And inside that building, I'm primarily known there for Praise and Paint, Art Combat. Well, Praise and Paint is paint and sip, but with the mocktails. I have a praise dancer. We focus on a scripture, and it's a really cool time. We paint something spiritual. And then Art Combat is my live painting experience where I source artists of color throughout the valley to come compete for a cash prize.
It's kind of like Top Chef for cooking.
Yes.
You get people in there with a competition, right?
Yes. It's a beautiful thing to watch a blank canvas transform in just 90 minutes. And the art is moving, meaning that people are buying it. You have an opportunity to purchase the art. So I'm giving creatives a platform. And not just a platform, because there's plenty of platforms, but platforms that make money.
That is very key.
Right.
That is very key.
Because everybody wants you artists.
It's like, will you paint that for me? It's like, I would love to have a piece, but could you donate it?
Or could you hang your art up in here? Somebody's going to sell it. And then, or buy it. And then Books and Brushes, where I work with local authors. So they come in, we paint something subject relative. It's a paint party experience as well. And then the guests, they leave with a painting and a book. And while we're painting, the author reads like excerpts from their book as we're painting throughout. So I like to think of Angelique's Community Arts Center as community, right? For creatives. So if you have an idea and you want to bring it in, it doesn't even have to do with painting. You know, if you have an idea that you want to bring to the art center, hit me up. I'm open. I'm very open.
She is very open because I've been involved with a lot of different forms of art with her. And it wasn't just painting. It was, it wasn't painting with rocks. I did clay.
Oh yeah, we made candles.
Painted tambourines.
Yes.
Lots of stuff.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you. If you think that you are not an artist and you don't want to go there, she will bring the art out in you. This was something that I had never done before in my life, and it is a painting with 2 hummingbirds. What is the scenery there? Is it a little swampy scene or something?
It's more like dandelions and grass, like a silhouette of those things. Yes,
but she can show you how to paint if you don't know how to paint. And I'm sorry for you listeners, you can't see that, but you'll have to check this out on the website.
Yes.
Now, I do want to mention one other thing, because you said you're open to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I have a nonprofit, C4SFoundation.org. I'll repeat that, C4SFoundation.org. And I did a workshop with 20 young ladies. We came to your community center, and we were working on self-esteem, which is the basis of our nonprofit. And we tell girls about affirmations all the time. So she showed us how to put affirmations, positive words, on the board and attached a mirror so you can see yourself. And I'm going to take this a little bit closer to the camera. It's very lovely. It's very inspiring. And the ladies there were so excited about what they created. And although everyone did the same painting per se, they were all different and individual.
Absolutely.
Because they express themselves. Mm-hmm. And it was a wonderful time. I can't wait for us to come back and do that, because we'll be back again this year, later in this year, if she doesn't kick me out. And Pizza Hut, they did the lunch for the girls. They do a special pizza for her, because I had the pan pizza before. It wasn't that great, but I'm telling you.
Shout out to Pizza Hut.
Shout out to Pizza Hut.
And I want to shout out Mingo Behavioral Health Services and Restorative Behavioral Health Services. Mm-hmm. They have merged. And that is what gave me the opportunity to do all those creative activities and those workshops that birthed that idea as well.
For the hummingbirds.
So we did the rock painting with them, and we did candle making and affirmation projects. We did so many projects there because art is healing, and that was what we were trying to show in that environment. So it was great.
And art is therapy. Mm-hmm. Really and truly, when you get in there and you're not distracted by a cell phone, somebody asking you to do something, you release and you express. And that's very important. And I was able to do that. I brought my daughters there. Yeah. We had a great time. I missed a couple of times that, I was out of town or whatever, but I hope they do that again.
I do too. That was based off a grant. And as we know, the grant situation isn't what it used to be. So right now we're kind of not doing it. That used to be every Wednesday evening. But what I've started is pizza and paint at Angelique's Community Art Center for $11, because that's the lowest price I could conceivably price this at. It's a smaller 9x12 canvas, but I'm doing that throughout the summer.
And what size was that canvas?
That was 11x14.
Okay, so just a little bit smaller, but you can still put something on it. Do you have a separate website for that?
It's on my website, and it's also on my Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, repeat your website again.
paintwithangeliquelv.com. So $11 paint parties.
Okay. So you have so many opportunities for people to come there to the facility and to enjoy themselves. And you're not even locked into just paint and sip, workshops, whatever. If somebody has an idea, like Girls Night Out, I've got a few friends. Yeah, ladies, I'm going to be calling you. We're going to do a fundraiser over there for C4S. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That really ties into what I was saying about how a lot of people are getting their funding cut and their grants and things like that. And I'm able to help people raise funds for their organization.
Absolutely. So as we bring this wonderful interview to a close, for someone listening who might be going through a difficult time, a health challenge, a caregiving season, a personal setback, what encouragement would you give them?
Remember all the blessings that you've had up to this point.
Yes.
Really. And that, and hopefully they can hold on to that. Like if you're still here, you're still breathing, God's not finished with you yet. He ain't finished. But count all the, be grateful for all the things that he has brought you through.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't he? Why couldn't he help you?
Yeah.
And if you don't believe, the universe or your pet rock or whatever it is that whatever your belief system is, be grateful for those things that he's brought you through so far.
Yeah. And sometimes when people don't have an answer to a prayer right away, they think, oh, God's not listening. But maybe he's saying, yeah, I'm going to do it, but not now. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I'm going to hold things up because I've got something even better than what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. We could go, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show, you guys. And we don't have time because the engineer's over there waving his fingers like, Amie Joe,
we got 2
shut
minutes?
Your mouth. No, we got a couple of minutes.
Can I shout?
You can get 60
one
seconds.
Final word?
Yes, please.
I just want to really encourage people to be living donors and to sign up to be an organ donor at the DMV. I currently do know a lady who thought she was going to be able to donate to her son. Mm. They were a match, and they found out she had ovarian cancer. Oh. Her son is A positive, so if there's anyone that wants to be a living donor to her son, he needs a kidney, there is absolutely no medical expense for a living donor. You don't pay one dime. Okay. You'll get the best physical of your life.
There you go. There you go. Angelique, thank you so much. I've got to do my little wrap up my work at the end, but it's truly a pleasure, and I hope that there's another occasion that you'll come back and bless us.
Absolutely.
Being here. Okay. So you have been sharing your heart, your story, and your commitment to serving others, and that really has brought a meaningful conversation, and that's what On the Go with Amie Joe is all about. And this is our first official hour. Thank you again for being there. And what stands out to me today is the fact that purpose grows out of what we've lived, and real change can move through awareness, compassion, and healing. So I hope everyone listening really gets that. And if today's message spoke to you, if it touched you in some kind of way, make sure you tune back in next week, because we're going to be here talking about another amazing subject with another individual to share their lives, their purpose, and their journey. So I'm going to say right now, you can find me on cornerforsuccess.com. Thank you for joining us for real conversations, real life, real change. And as I say with every show I close, change your mind, change your life.